discussing the ethics and management behind disposing hazardous waste. But before we dive into this, we have to determine what actually is hazardous waste. According to the United States Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, hazardous waste is described as waste with properties that make it dangerous or capable of having a harmful effect on human health or the environment. Due to the dangers of this specific waste, certain ethics and management protocols must be enforced to protect humans and the environment. Evidence from the EPA explains the United States produced approximately 28 million tons of hazardous waste in 2015, and this statistic continues to rise every year. When this waste is disposed of improperly, it can cause significant problems for the environment. Air and water pollution possess a threat to animals, humans, and ecosystems. It can lead to respiratory diseases and cancer in humans and animals, algal blooms and oxygen depletion in aquatic habitats, and much more. Air emissions can also contain greenhouse gases that deplete the Earth's ozone layer and accelerate climate change. Other concerns include the potential for spills, leaks, fires, and soil contamination. Hazardous waste from households can pollute the environment, injure sanitation workers, and contaminate septic tanks and water treatment plants. To combat some of these issues, agricultural and biological engineers have developed and continue to improve technology to hinder the impact hazardous waste has on our environment. For example, ventilation systems are created for specific companies creating harmful air pollution. The filter filters the toxic air before entering the atmosphere. Regenerative incinerators are used for controlling pollution streams from volatile organic compounds. Water purification centers and man-made wastelands are used to filter and purify water for our use and consumption. Agricultural and biological engineers also visit industrial and municipal sites to measure the success of these air pollution controls and advise on any necessary changes. With these high stakes, government regulation is important. The EPA is a division of the government that was created to protect the environment by setting regulations and holding companies accountable for the waste they generate. EPA regulation says that companies are responsible for their waste from cradle to grave. This means that if they create waste, they are responsible for transporting it and must either recycle or safely treat and dispose of the waste. Environmental protection and waste disposal has come a long way, especially in the past 50 years. Engineering and technology have created and continue to create safer options for recycling, treatment, and disposal. Even though most of us don't have the power to change an entire corporation's waste management plan, we can still make sure to properly dispose our own household hazardous waste, or HHW. If we don't, we've risked contaminating our environment and potentially injuring children, pets, and sanitation workers. The easiest way for us to do this is to simply reduce the amount of HHW that we produce. But even when we do our best to reduce our HHW, we still have some to dispose of. Here are a few things to remember when disposing of HHWs. 1. Most hazardous materials will have instructions for disposal on their containers. Make sure to check. 2. Always keep hazardous materials in their original containers and never remove the labels. 3. Never mix HHWs with other materials. 4. And when in doubt, call your local environmental, health, or solid waste agency with any questions you may have. Together, we can all do our parts to minimize the impact of hazardous waste on the environment.